beyond the skies. You and I, we're breaking bounds on Baobab.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, those who are in the African continent, and good morning, those who are in Western North America, wherever you are. We are pleased to be here, and as you can see, we are going to talk about a very, very dear topic, especially for the young people, especially for the people who are transitioning from young adults to adulthood. So I titled this presentation today, Breaking Chains of Substance Use Disorders, because really that's what we are here for. I'm not saying that you may be affected, but I'm saying that you have responsibility and a role in trying to break the chains. Maybe you know someone, maybe you know someone in your family, in your environment, a classmate, maybe a neighbor, whoever. But you can be, after you learn things here, you can be of a use to support someone who is struggling. So my name is Chantal Mudahogora. I'm one of the therapists at Solid Minds. I'm a psychotherapist. I have been in this career for the last 23 years, going 24. And it's my pleasure to be with you today. We are going to spend an hour together. Please give me your ears. Show me love, give me some thumbs, some hearts, some love from you. And I also want you to start writing in the chat where you are joining us from. Oh, thank you so much for the love. Let us know where you're actually joining from. Currently in Kigali, Rwanda. I have 2 residencies. I live in Rwanda and in Canada at the same time, but I do travel a lot. So I welcome everyone. And Kevin, thank you so much for supporting me. I just want to let you know that we also have French translation simultaneously. So if you are a French speaker, Kevin, where is the channel that it can turn to? Interpretation. So if you go on the line below, you will find a tab which is called interpretation. You can click it. You will be joining our friends who are translating in that side. So bonjour, bon après-midi tout le monde. Donc si vous êtes francophone, vous pouvez toujours passer par la partie d'interprétation. Vous allez avoir l'interprétation simultanée. Tout ce que je vais dire en anglais va être traduit en français. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Okay, so I can see you all from Kenya. I think we are, what do I do? Save? Okay, all right, there's something popping up on my screen. Okay, so the session today has different parts to it. We have our Dorcas from Nigeria, hello from Nigeria, and Kefewe from South Africa, welcome. Money. I tried to make the sound, but I really can't do it. So I think Kevin, do you speak the language where they say no? You can teach me sometime. So our objectives, we will try to understand the addiction and try to see if there are some coping strategies that we can take home with us. Wow, Solomon from Indonesia. Wow, we are getting global. Explore causes and negative impact on physical, mental health of substance users. As you know, when long-term use of substance or alcohol or drugs will have an impact on your mental health and your health, your general health in your health in general. We will learn and apply practical tips and nurture appropriate healthy behaviors, explore practical aspects of prevention. So we'll go through a few things, so at least you can have a message to take home. All right, on the agenda, same thing. We are trying to talk about an overview, what substance, the impact on your brain and your health, substance use disorders. SUDs stands for substance use disorders assessment and concurrent disorders, prevention, treatment, and recovery. And then we have a Q&A period. Next.
Welcome to Solid Minds Counseling Clinic,
We can hear you.
where your mental well-being is our priority. Solid Mind Counseling Clinic is a private and independent outpatient mental health clinic licensed by the Rwanda's Ministry of Health. Our founders believe in the possibility of unlocking the full potential of every person through evidence-based mental health services tailored to individuals, couples, families, and children. Our dedicated team of professionals is here to support you with a confidential and compassionate care. We work with public and private institutions to deliver employee assistance programs, capacity bridging, training, consultation, research, and much more. We also support education institution staff and students in their academic and learning journey. At Solid Minds Counseling Clinic, we actively engage with the community to raise awareness and reduce the fears surrounding mental health and mental health support. We support and encourage collaborations, youth-led initiatives, and drive public events to promote mental well-being across different walks of life. Our dedication to mental well-being reaches beyond Rwanda, extending across Africa and in the diaspora. Please contact Solid Mind Counseling Clinic, where we nurture resilience and foster hope. Live out your potential through mental well-being. Reach out to us today to begin your journey to mental wellness.
Thank you, Kevin. Next. All right, so I think you skipped one, but it's okay. It's okay. As you could hear, Solid Mind is a mental health outpatient clinic, which is located in Kigali, licensed by the Ministry of Health in Rwanda. Though we are located here, but we work globally. We support scholars, and we support universities, staff members, and we do all kind of stuff like direct service, which is therapy. We also do trainings. Like now, we try to raise awareness to the community and get to understand mental health. We also do research. So right now, I have an icebreaker. I want you to actually write in the chat how you feel today. Just try to describe how you're feeling. It doesn't have to be related to this presentation, how you're feeling in general. Maybe you just got up, you are in North America, you just got up or whatever, just how you're feeling. And then the next thing, you put A, one feeling. B, you tell us one thing you do out of work, out of school for self-care. And number C, you tell us one personal or academic achievement that you are proud of, the recent one. So here we go. We have 2 minutes to flood the chat. How you are feeling, what to do for self-care, one thing, and a personal or professional achievement. I don't see you. That's writing. We have 54 people on the call, so I'm waiting for A, tired, B, cooking, C, getting into Cambridge. Wow, that's cool. Thank you, Shinemerem, for sharing. Hello. Hello, Yvonne. Anyone else? Tell us what you do. Christine, anxious, listening to music and nature walk, starting my master's degree program. Wow. You guys, this is great. This is really great. Keep sending them. We have 2 minutes. You have 1.5 left. Fidelis, I feel tired and stressed out. Listen to music for relaxation. Academic, being a MasterCard Foundation scholar. Great. These are great. Oh, feeling sick now due to cold weather. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Lucky. Keep strong. Oh, not Lucky. Priscilla. Stagnant, swimming, attaining my master's. Right now, I feel overwhelmed with work, sleeping, reading, and watching a movie, getting into Cambridge. Okay, cool. Exhausted, listening to music, starting my personal business. Exhausted, sharing memes, having a published paper. Wow. Calm, reading, obtaining my master's degree, optimistic. Wow. Yeah, optimistic, la la la. Where are we? I tend not to see. Okay, cool. Emmanuel from South, you are currently in South Africa, University of Pretoria. I've been there before. I'm not sure if you recognize my face. From Juba. So, all right. So, feelings exhausted. Oh my, it feels like people are exhausted nowadays. Optimistic, relieved, hiking, having successful conducted an event. Wow. Overwhelmed, having a work. Cool. Feel well, love fellowship, starting my master's. Excellent. Optimistic. I'm very happy that people are feeling optimistic. Taking my friends, talking with my friends. Okay, cool. All right, so you can keep sharing. I will come back to it. So feelings are sometimes things that as African community we don't do well because we grow up asked to suppress. They beat you, discipline you, you cry. When you cry, they beat you before crying. So we are used to suppress our emotions, and sometimes suppressing will be detrimental to our general health because in the end, things will surface anyways, and they will surface in different ways. So it's important always to get up in the morning and check in how you feel. Keep checking in the level of your energy. Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Like, it's important always to check in. Self-care is important. It's not a luxury. You always have to take a time to pause and reset and try to regenerate new ideas. Achievements also, sometimes when you ask people about what they failed, they have so much. But every time when you ask them what they achieved, even small things, you need to celebrate yourself. Celebrate what you have done. So it's important, these 3 things, keep them in mind. And sometimes when you feel you're not up to something, just connect with your feelings, connect with everything. Okay, thank you so much. Next. Feel happy, successful, end of summer semester. So what is substance use disorder, or what is addiction? So the general overview is that the whole idea of substance use disorder or addiction, it's actually a new thing. We are still discovering. It was only discovered in 1930s. You may think, oh, that's a long time ago because you are young. But for science, for best practices, for us to have a good understanding of a situation, we have to have a long time of researching, of trying this and that, of finding a treatment and so forth. So addiction was first time identified as an addiction, as an illness, in 1930s. So it is very recent. So general overview, addiction also affects all people of all kind of age. Babies, because as you know, there's this syndrome that babies are born with, if the parents consumed a lot of alcohol or drugs when they conceived the baby, they can be born with this syndrome which even have facial expression. You can see it. Teenagers can be addicted, young adults, parents, seniors, everyone, all ages, they can suffer the very harmful consequences of drugs or alcohol abuse and addiction in general. In this session, we will focus on the youth category because we are talking to the young people. So what are what the consequences of addiction also are vast. They are multiple faceted. They are multiple layers. They come in different forms, and they affect individuals, families, communities, and societies. So most of the time, statistically speaking, especially in North America, when someone is struggling with mental health in a family, at least 10 more people are affected. That's immediate family, friends, even extended family, but also some formal and informal caregivers. So when one person is struggling, many people are struggling at the same time. Next. Can you guys hear me well? You have to show me some, yes, good. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. So what is addictions? Maybe sometimes people will question, is drinking alcohol a bad thing, or is it like why people think we get addicted? Thank you guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. So addiction is actually defined as a chronic relapsing brain disease. So it's not just because you get drunk or just because you are using something to be high. It's not just because you are spending your money and be broke, but there's also consequence on your brain. So when you use a lot of alcohol or drugs, sometimes your brain will actually resist you, and you keep increasing quantity of how much you smoke and how much you drink. So compulsive drug and alcohol seeking and the use despite harmful consequences. You have seen people saying, okay, I'm quitting today, I will never use again, I will never drink again. But much as they can decide, when you are addicted, sometimes you cannot just get rid of it yourself. You will have to seek medical attention, go to the doctor, go to a therapist, go to a psychiatrist. We will see about the treatment plan. So the clinical term of addiction is referred to as severe substance use disorder. That's a DSM, it's a book that we use. Addiction is like any other diseases, such as heart disease or even diabetes or high blood pressure, because sometimes people think it's just behavior, but it's a disease, actually, it is an illness. Both disrupt the normal, healthy functioning of the underlying organ, and they can have serious harmful consequences. They are preventable and treatable, but if left untreated, can last a lifetime. This is very true. Sometimes we treat people, they come to the clinic and they have some addiction issues. We treat them about addiction, they get off alcohol or drugs, but they may have chronic diseases, liver, heart, other consequences which are more lasting and can even be chronic. Next slide, please. Here, I hope other people can learn to the screen time thing. Yeah.
Buttery toast,
Mix.
robots and tacos,
Sorta mix.
but kids and alcohol.
Don't mix. You probably heard that alcohol
Guys,
is bad for your
take
brain.
note.
But what does that actually
Take
mean?
To answer that question, we'll have to learn a little bit about neuroscience, the study of the brain and nervous system.
The brain is your body's control center. It processes information to and from your senses and manages vital and voluntary actions like breathing or keeping a regular heartbeat. It enables you to run and play, learn new facts and ideas, and feel a wide range of emotions.
To do all of these jobs, your brain contains many different parts. Each part is focused on a specific function, like movement, decision-making, memory, pretty much everything.
The brain transmits information throughout the body using a system of interconnected nerve cells called neurons. Chemical messengers called neurotransmitters carefully move the information from one neuron to the next.
Spoiler alert, these messengers play a key role in the way alcohol affects the brain. But hang on, we're getting there. Now, neurotransmitters can either be excitatory, meaning they stimulate brain activity, or inhibitory, meaning they slow down brain activity. To keep its operations going smoothly, the brain has to maintain a careful chemical balance between these two types of neurotransmitters.
Now let's see what happens when you introduce alcohol to this finely tuned system. To start, alcohol acts as an agonist or booster to certain chemicals in the brain's internal reward system. That's what can give people the relaxed feeling you may have heard about.
But alcohol also acts as an agonist to inhibitory neurotransmitters, increasing their ability to slow down brain functions. Simultaneously, it acts as an antagonist to excitatory neurotransmitters, decreasing their ability to stimulate brain activity.
You can probably guess what happens when you combine ramped up inhibitory neurotransmitters with dulled down excitatory neurotransmitters. All of your brain's different parts and functions become super slowed down, which can cause a wide range of physical, mental, and emotional effects.
For example, if too much alcohol hits your cerebellum, which is important for coordination, you might lose your balance and fall.
If alcohol impairs your hippocampus, where memories are made, you might have a hard time holding on to new information, like someone's name you just met, or where you left your phone.
And when alcohol hits your cerebral cortex, which has an important role in feelings and decisions, you may find it hard to control your emotions and get very sad or very angry for apparently no reason. Basically, as alcohol mixes with the different parts of your brain, it makes it a lot harder for them to do their specific jobs.
In time, these short-term effects of alcohol wear off as alcohol leaves the system, though a drinker may experience a sick feeling known as a hangover the next day.
But if a person continues drinking too much, it can have serious long-term effects. The brain will begin to chemically compensate for the way alcohol affects it, and in time, will start to rely on alcohol to function normally. This can lead to dependency, addiction, and other serious health problems.
As a young person with a still developing brain, alcohol can have a stronger effect on you than on adults.
Learning the facts can help you make healthy decisions. So say yes to a healthy lifestyle and no to underage drinking.
To learn more, visit asklistenlearn.org.
Thank you for the thumbs up and the heart. So I want you guys to write your reflections in the chat. Just something you are taking home from this video about the change. One thing they said was alcohol and substance use disorders, they slow down brain function. You could see the neurotransmitters, neuroreceptors, the data flow doesn't really flow as it should. So let's see about youth and addiction. You can play the video. You can chat in the chat room about what you learned from the video, about the previous video. So, no, you go back, Kevin. Or you went too far. Oh, wait. Go back to the video. Okay, so yeah, go down. Go down. All right. So why do people take substances? So there are many reasons why. Sometimes people tell me, oh, I had a bad group of friends and they took me to this. Some other people, I do take it to feel good when I have to perform or I have an interview, I have to take something or smoke to feel better. Others do to do better, like those performers, artists that you see going to this, before they go to the stage, they have to drink something, or just because others do it. So all of that, these reasons, most of the time are okay if you can regulate yourself, if you can drink or drink moderately. But where the problem is, that doing better, feel better, feeling good, you don't need any substance to feel good or to do better, because we have autoregulation in us. Even if when you feel stressed out, you don't need anything to boost you. Some people who are timid, they drink something to be able to talk to a girl or to be able to say what they cannot say in their normal state. But whatever situation is, every time when you drink or you smoke something just to be able to achieve or to accomplish something, then you are going to be led to an addiction, because your body will start being resisting to the drinking part. If you're drinking one glass or one beer, within 6 months you have to drink 3 or 5 or 6, because your body resists. What was making you high or making you get to the level where you feel pleasure, it's resisting. You have to double dose, because you're doing it to self-medicate, maybe to silence your thoughts. If your thoughts races, maybe you are struggling with something else, maybe depression, anxiety, childhood trauma. So for all of those things, when you drink, you have to check, why am I drinking? Am I drinking just for relaxation, for social, for maybe, but it's moderate? Okay. But if you're drinking to silence your mind or to numb yourself, then it's not okay. Next, Kevin. Next slide. Okay, so determinants of drinking. Why drug use? There's a spectrum to it, and there are different reasons why do what they do. So sometimes things can be genetic, maybe biologically makeup. You are prone to becoming addicted. Sometimes it comes from family instability, family disruptions. If you grow up in a family where people use alcohol or there are a lot of volatility, sometimes you may feel like you have to use to be able to silence your mind. Childhood insecurities, stressful life events, maybe a failure, divorce, separation, a death in a family or a friend, a good friend. Also, sometimes when you feel like you are lost, you need people around you. You need consistency, you need support, your support system, you need community, your peer, your family, and other people. So sometimes this community too can be detrimental, because your peer support can be the one which is putting pressure or which is taking you to these behaviors. Next. So risk factors. Risk factors are multiple facade as well. There's a biological gene, there's environment you are in, and then sometimes there's a brain chemicals where they are not functioning normally, maybe in the case of depression, and then you need something to try to inhibit your own low mood. You try to have something to raise your dopamine so you can feel some happiness or some joy or some good mood. So all of this combined, there's no one thing which causes addiction. There are multiple factors that causes it. Next, this is to explain what we saw in the previous one. I see your question, Tofir. We'll come back to it. Next, Kevin. Oh yeah, I see your comment actually. There are other risk factors for addiction: environment you are in, home and family, peer pressure. There's also biological factor. Statistics will tell us that genetic factor is between 40 and 60% of the people. They can be vulnerable to addiction. Next. I'm conscious of the time. I'm trying to go fast so we can go to questions. Other risk factors, there are people who may have concurrent disorders or comorbidities where they have other pain. People who have chronic pain, sometimes they are prone to use so they can calm down. Some mental illnesses may contribute. If you have addiction, obviously your brain chemicals are not functioning okay. Dopamine specifically, which is responsible for our joy and happiness, but also responsible for our low mood. So sometimes when you use, you feel like your dopamine is being increased. Substance use and addiction can contribute also to some development of mental illnesses. Yeah, both ways. You can be depressed and you use because you are depressed, or you can use and then be depressed because you are using. So both ways. Next. There's another video attached to that. Carmen.
Addiction is defined as not having control over doing, taking, using something to the point where it could be harmful to you. Previous to understanding the science, it was thought that addiction resulted from a lack of willpower and was a moral failing. But we now know that addiction is a physiological disease. It changes the brain structure in ways that can alter the way it works and process information. To understand how that happens, we start by thinking about reward and the brain's natural reward system. The reward pathway's primary function is to reinforce sets of behaviors. Evolutionarily, it began as a way to indicate to us that actions that help us survive are good and we should keep doing them. This is mediated through a chemical called dopamine. Following an appropriate behavior, the reward pathway releases a small burst of dopamine. That burst of dopamine is a satisfying jolt, encouraging you to repeat the same action in the future. Dopamine will in turn also act on areas responsible for memory and movement, which helps us automatically build up memories for what is good for survival. The problem is that addictive substances hijack our natural reward system. Every substance has slightly different actions on the brain, but one thing all addictive drugs have in common is that they produce a pleasurable surge of dopamine. Addictive drugs all cause dopamine to flood the reward pathway 10 times higher than a natural reward would. Over chronic use, nothing else natural is quite as rewarding. In fact, as substance use increases, the circuits adapt and reduce their sensitivity to dopamine, a phenomenon known as tolerance. For example, let's say a person takes cocaine for the first time. The reward system receives a huge burst of dopamine. But as the person takes more frequently, cocaine will be overstimulating the brain with dopamine. This will cause the brain to adapt to these chronically high levels of dopamine. To compensate and adapt to this new normal, the brain reduces the number of dopamine receptors available in the reward system and releases less dopamine. As a result, that person will feel the need to increase the amount of drug they take so that they can reach the level of high that they're used to. But it's not just the reward system that's affected by this tolerance, since dopamine is also involved in other brain mechanisms. Other brain regions involving decision-making, memory, and judgment also get physically disrupted as a result. The overall effect is to have drug-seeking behavior driven by habit rather than conscious thought, like a reflex instead of a choice. This biological basis helps to explain why addiction really is a brain disease, not a matter of willpower. The stigma that accompanies addiction only makes seeking treatment more difficult.
Thank you. Okay, so I want you again to write in the note, in the chat room, what you take out of this video. They'll talk about how addiction is not about willpower, it's about a mental illness. And most of us in our communities, we don't necessarily see that. Wait a minute to move from this, stay there. So the slides? Yeah, for sure, you can have slides. But what I was going to say, if you look closely to these pictures, you can tell when you look at healthy brain and addicted brain, you can see that in the addicted brain, there's less activities. There's less of yellow stuff. And in this picture too, the functional changes. So when you are using much of drugs and alcohol and you become addicted or dependent, the brain has less activities. So there's actually a change in your brain. How the data flows about neurotransmitters and neuroreceptors, they actually get reduced. That's why you see people lacking concentration, decision-making, focus, short memory loss, all of those things will come with it. So guys, help out. Be your brothers and sisters keepers. Next, Kevin, next slide. So addiction prevention and treatment, we're about to finish. There are a few things that we do, especially in the treatment part. We use counseling therapy 101. We use medication where it is needed. You need an assessment and a diagnosis, and we use support. So most of the time in our communities, again, when you see someone who is struggling with addiction, they are left to themselves. And sometimes they get stigmatized, and sometimes our families make them worse than they are, rather than taking them in and try to support them. Next. Yes, you are right, Priscilla. Judgment makes condition very worse. So prevention, we need a prevention plan, and the prevention has multiple facades. We have to involve the community, our family. We need family programs to prevent. We need school programs big time, and we need community programs. So people can be aware that someone who has malaria and is laying down with a high temperature is the same as someone who is struggling with addiction. So we should use the same care plan to come to attend to these people. Next. Yes, I will be sharing slides. Treatment. As I said, we have a few things we use in the treatment. Sometimes when people need to go to rehab center where they can have treatment in a facility, they go to the rehab. But in the community, we use behavioral counseling therapy. We use medication, especially antidepressant. There's also some medication which is anti-abuse, but some communities don't have, they are not available to everybody. Treatment of withdrawal symptoms, which can be very bad, and treatment of concurrent disorders like depression, anxiety, long-term follow-up prevention to prevent relapses. Because sometimes people will come off the drugs, off the addiction for some time, and then a few months later or years later, they relapse. Next. So recovery is a kind of a tricky one because there are some relapses which may happen in between. But from this addiction circle, you sometimes get stressed out. And you have problems with the relationship, fear of failure, school, anger, other behaviors, lack of sleep, fear of rejection, expectations. Like you get stressed out from different things in life because stress is part of us. We live with the stress. We just need to know how to manage it. Now, when you get stressed and it's too much for you, you go to acting, you try using. When you try, you start using, you feel guilty. After you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, then you get depressed. And then you make a commitment. I'm gonna stop, I will never touch it again. You try, you perform really well, and then bang, something happens, you get stressed again, and the circle starts again. So recovery requires a good workout to prevent relapses. Next. Kevin. This guide, it's a stage of recovery. It's a long guide, but you will be able to review it in the slides. Next, Kevin. I hope Kevin has your email so they can share it. So recovery process, I just spoke about this. Being in recovery is when those positive changes and values become part of your life on a voluntarily basis. You adopt them in your lifestyle. Even if you go to a place where people are drinking, you don't feel triggered. So that's what recovery means. It doesn't mean that you stay away from it. You are in remission or something else. Next. All right. Thank you so much for your attention. And I already have a couple of questions in the Q&A section. I can read them for you. Findings on the effects of alcohol drug addiction on brain activity also result from less conventional addictions like phone addiction or social media addiction. Absolutely. There's a place here in the hippocampus close to the amygdala where that's where it's things get wrong. And actually social media and screen time is causing more problems that we need, because it's easy for me to make a care plan with patients, telling them this is how much you can reduce, this is the progress, this is how we're gonna do it, and staying away from your groups that triggers you to drink and something. But with your phone in your hand, I have had time to tell you how to control your phone. It requires a willpower, and sometimes the willpower is the first thing which goes from you. So social media and a phone screen, it's or any gadget screen, it's becoming a big problem in our career. We are even seeing it in young children, like 2 years, 3 years, they get addicted to the phone. Researchers are still coming out, but it doesn't look good really so to speak. You have to start from now on taking time off from your screen, because the screen is becoming very addictive. The other thing is online gambling. Online gambling is becoming also very highly addictive, and it is also hard for us to make some care plan, because people have their phones, their tablets, their laptops everywhere, even in their beds, in their bedroom, everywhere you have access to the gadgets. So it's becoming a very, very concerning in our career. What steps can a person take personally to manage their addiction if they are not able to access counseling? Maybe because of finances or distance from such places, for example. We just saw in the video that most of the things which go away, it's willpower. It is very, very important to actually get treated if someone is struggling with addiction. Mainly, you don't need to have access to counseling if you're not able to, but you can even go to your physician, like a GP, a general practitioner, any clinic. You can address your issues with them. They will be able to help or refer you. For the cost, I cannot speak from this one because you guys are in different parts of the world. But if you cannot access your therapy or whatever, go to the general practitioner, go to any working clinic and get helped. Sometimes people go to their friends to talk it out, to their families, to church, to their pastors or someone, a clergy, a church leader. That may help, prayers help. I'm a woman of faith as well, but it's not all. It's not gonna fix your dopamine. It's a disease. If you can go get to your pastor when you have diabetes, maybe you do, and I believe in miracles. However, miracles comes at the time. But I really want people to know that it's a disease. Addiction is a disease. You need to get treated. So thanks for the information and session, and for how one can help a loved one who does not see their addiction as a problem. This happens a lot because addiction actually is something that any mental health, some people are aware of their conditions, some other people are not aware of their conditions. And I can tell you right now, every time, like addiction, like any other mental health conditions, if they don't get treated in time, they keep getting worse and worse and worse. So if a family member or a friend is struggling, I always recommend people to seek help themselves. If you are the concerned person, go seek advice from a professional. They will tell you how to communicate with the person. They will tell you how to watch for triggers. They will coach you how to care for that person. And in the end, they will tell you if the person is in danger, how you can find support for them. But you need to reach out. Can we get participation certificate? You go back to Baba and ask. Kedo is here. Maybe he can speak to that. How can one reduce social media addiction, especially when one is staying alone with limited community presence? Guys, when you are not able to enjoy being alone, that means there's already a problem. So even if connecting with the community, it does not mean that you have to spend there 24 hours. You just need to discipline yourself. Make sure that you know your screen time, maybe once in the morning or late morning, once in the afternoon, and 1 hour in the evening. You have to discipline yourself, unless if you work in an emergency room or you are part of the emergency team. Otherwise, you should be able to limit yourself. If you don't, then there is a problem. If there is a problem, you need to consult. All right, I think I exhausted all the questions. Last slide, Kevin. All right, it was a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much. I think I kept time. I have a few minutes, and I will thank you so much for thumbs up. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the attention. How can someone? How can? Oh, I think I missed the question. No. Okay. Let's now where you are joining us from. So, Credo, maybe I can give you a minute or two to actually share if there's a way people get some credit from participating, but it's only 1 hour, and 1 hour, I don't think it's actually enough even to be accredited for it. Yeah. From my end, I'm done. I don't know if you want to have closing remarks, Credo, or Kevin, whoever is available. Thanks, Agnes.
Hi, Chantal, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, there will be no certificates for this, but yeah, this was just obviously a webinar to help people understand addictions and leverage your expertise in this field to understand how to navigate that and also support loved ones and ourselves. So I just wanted to say thank you to you and your team for continuing to help us design these impactful webinars for the Baobab community, and we look forward to the next one.
Beyond the skies, you and I, we're breaking bounds on bounds.